Hey Nocturnal, how are you? Alright, we might as well start. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well. We have both Socks and Max. Oh, there we go. There's Max. Yeah, there he is. Stealing Socks' bed. She's not happy. She is definitely not happy. You're okay? Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm bit tired. We'll see how I go tonight. I'm hoping I'll go a lot better than I did last stream, where I was just exhausted and it just got worse. Tonight I want to finish off the last of the child objects. And Petfin, hopefully you're going well too. I'll feed both of them in a second. Yeah, I've just got the requirement items to do, and once I do that, I can sort of do a release. I really haven't tested out the Kanban cards stuff properly yet, but I think if I release it, we can quickly find and fix any bugs. So yeah, had to put two bears for the same reason. Yeah, Max doesn't usually come in here, but I guess he's just in here because this room heats up, so it does get warm. All right, where are the treats? I will be right back. Treats are in the kitchen. Nope, they're not in the kitchen. They're actually over here all along. Okay. Socks knows what's happening. She's just confused because she's usually running into her bed. Alright. There we go. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So Socks, come here. There, go back. Socks. Oh, I don't want to break that. Oh. I'll stabilize it. There we go. Yeah, pretty much Socks' fluffy butt cam, yep. There we go, she's in both of them. Max has gobbled them down too. She's all like, where are more treats? Max, on the other hand, is like, I'm just going to sniff the wombat that's in there. There you go. Yeah, he's happy. Socks isn't. She's like, where's my treats gone? Okay, we'll put this back. Oh, I should have done that first. Well, we can't. There we go. All right. Now I've got to hide this. So Socks doesn't annoy me during the stream. So yeah, hopefully everyone's going well. We are going to work on the API today, specifically for because we finished off the change task, we've now got the requirement items, and then we'll do a release. I'm going to try and get as much done tonight with the requirement items, and then yeah, hopefully I can do a release. We do need to actually write a lot of unit tests for all the API and do proper testing and all that kind of stuff, and apply any feedback. So yeah. Anyway, let's get started. I'm getting distracted with the cube. Oh, I don't have my iPad set up. Oops. Sorry. Hold on. There we go. All right. Stream manager, Jesus. Okay. So, oh, and we've just reached our first ad break. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. Don't worry, don't get any ads. We do this so no one misses out on anything. The ads are just stop the pre-rolled ads, which are more annoying. So, yeah. And yes, don't forget to drop. Is that a new emote? I'm just looking at go past. Ah, I just missed. Damn it. I like it. So yeah, hopefully everyone's going well. Alright, we've got about 25 seconds left. I'm going to see how much of the cube I can get done. Probably not enough. But we can see what I can do. And then... Alright, we've got the top left. And we should be back. Welcome back, everyone. Alright. Let's jump back into it. So, under NearBeach, we want the views. We want to open up also the serializers. We will have requirement item serializer in here. So much like what we did last week, we'll need to start keying in some information in here. Is that someone hammering something? Your friend has cat emotes and they are. Oh, they are adorable. I like the long cat one where he's patting them. Oh, is that eating something? Aww. The cat in the box. Cat tail. Ah, these are awesome. The cat bee. That reminds me of Socks's bee costume. So, they're pretty cool. It continues. Yes, he's eating a cheese string. Fair enough. All right, let's jump into this. So yeah, we're going to expand quite a lot of this. Currently, we're not going to include the story points. Obvious reason why. We haven't implemented them yet. They'll be implemented next month, and we'll put them into the API. Otherwise, those fields will be pretty empty at the moment. So, if we hit our go to this, and we go over here, and we type in localhost 8000 API version 0, we want, now this is for requirement item. Oh, sorry, requirement. And let's say we go to the first one. As you see, everything comes into here. That's perfectly fine. And then we've got the requirement items in here, and we know that we've got one with one. It'll do something like that. Now, we don't have anything there yet. We're going to implement that. So, first things first, let's go down into the API. Let's right-hand click. Let's go new file. Let's go requirement item API view.py. We're going to go from the REST framework. We're importing the view set and the status. And then from the REST framework dot response, we're importing response. And then here we've got class requirement item view set. And then train becoming. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. We'll have view set dot model view set. And then in here we'll have model, oh, wrong one. So in a lot of these, what we do is query set. We'll have query set. Just putting that there for reference. So query set will, and this is where we need some more information up here. So we're just going to go from, this will be NearBeach.models, and then we're going to import, we're going to do that because we're going to import more and more tables as we go along. And then what do we want in here? We want the query set, so we want the requirement item query set. We'll probably also have the requirements in here too. And we need from NearBeach.serializers.requirement item serializer import the requirement item serializer. So back down here, we've got the requirement.objects.filter, and then is deleted equals false. That will be our query set. We're going to be happy with that. And then the serializer class is going to be the requirement item serializer class. Easy, done. Now we also need some decorators. So I'm going to go from NearBeach.decorators.checkUserPermissions. Now this will be part of the API object. Oh, I think it's that one. Yes, it is that one. So down here, we've got at check user permissions. So the min permission level will be for create is going to be a 3. Easy, done. I don't know how and why I opened up my folder then. Then we need def create self request args and quargs. And then at the moment, we need to return a response where the data equals have not implemented this. And the status will equal status.500. Like so. All right, just because we haven't implemented it. I am going to copy this, go down here, I'm going to paste it in, we're going to bump it up, we're going to minimize this. Now the next class we need is a destroy class. So this is going to be a, class, a method. So we're going to do that. In this sort of case, I'm going to write this one out very, very quickly because it won't take me too long. It's going to take short time if I just write it out. So requirement item equals self.getObject, easy, done. And then requirement item dot is deleted equals true. And then requirement item dot change user equals request.user. And then requirement item dot save, easy, done. Return response. Now this is data equals, in that requirement item deleted, and the status will equal status.http no content because we just deleted it. So that one's pretty easy to do. With the list one, what we're going to do, go to 24, we're just going to copy that, and then we'll go back to line that one. We're gonna do that. We're going to edit this. So the minimum permission is just a 1. We're gonna go def list self request args and quargs. Easy done. We're going to just go return response. And that's just going to be data, please set up. And then we're going to go status equals status dot HTTP 500. It's just easier to sometimes just type in 500 and let the system do its thing. So we're quite happy with that. I'm going to go back to line 30 that. I'm going to go like that. We are going to go like that. And I'm going to go def. The next one we need to do is a retrieve. So this is a bit different. We're going to have a pk equals none in here. In this sort of case, this is going to be easy too. It's going to be a lot easier if I just write in query set equals requirement item dot objects dot filter is deleted equals false, because we don't want anything that is deleted. Requirement results. Requirement item results, sorry. Equals get object. Or 404, we don't actually have that in here at the moment. So we're going to go up here. We're going to go from REST framework dot generics import get object of 404. So we're going back down to here. 404 like that. So we've got the query set, and then we've got the pk equals pk done like that. Down here, we're going to, now, do we need the extra attributes? No, we don't. We actually just need to serialize this and send it back to the user. So serializer equals requirement item serializer, and then we go requirement item results, and then we just return the response like this. Status equals status.200. Oh, and then we're fine with that. So the next thing we need to do now, this def update self request pk equals none args and quargs. This one we're going to go return HTTP response data equals set this up, and then status equals status.500, because we haven't done anything yet for that particular thing. All right, easy done. So there's our base of this. I'm just going to close that. I'm kind of happy with that. We've got 2 of the things in there already. We just now need to set up the URLs. And good morning, Lukewarm Skelly. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome back. I've opened up the utils instead of the URLs. So this is part of requirement items. So it'll be part of requirement. So we want to do something like this. And we need to do / open close brackets, but in here we're just going to go $P requirement ID in here, and that's going to be 0 to 9 plus, and then we go requirement item. This will be requirement item API view. It'll be like that. All right, so that's it set up, almost set up there. And good morning, Blinters. Hopefully you're going well. Welcome back. Oh, well, first time chat. Welcome. Sorry. Anyway, hopefully you're going well, and hopefully you do enjoy my content. So we need to put this into here. It'll be a requirement item API view, and that's it. So now requirement item view set. Did I name this right? Requirement item Now I've got lowercase s. I have not named it right. Everywhere else has a capital S. We're going to actually continue with that and just capitalize the S. Easy done. Not a problem. We're happy with that. So, we should now be able to hit refresh. And we actually get that item there. And what actually happens is if we do something like this, we're going to get a please set up. Cool. So with this one, we're pretty happy with that. We're going to actually have a look at the front end too. What I'll actually do is I'll jump into Duck Admin. Like so, we're going to find an object. Do we actually have, we don't actually have any connections to a requirement here. So we're just going to click on that one. We're going to go requirement item. Here's the particular item itself up here. So we should see the requirement item title in here, which is that. And then we've got the scope, which is this down here. We should see the stakeholder. Be one of these numbers. Requirement, no. Item status, no. So a couple of these numbers will need to actually distinguish. And what I mean by that is to still have the item ID, but also at the same time include the name. So the requirement, oh, Max is going to disappear. So I might move the camera. Hey, sweetie. I might move the camera up here. Alright, cool. So what I mean is the requirement item status 3 doesn't make much sense. So I'll include the requirement item status ID and the requirement status name. And thank you very much for the follow. Shep Salmighty. Welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. And Blinters, thank you very much also for the follow. Greatly appreciate both of you for following. So yeah, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So we're going to do that very, very quickly. It's like there's a secret comma in the name. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I see it. Sheps Almighty. Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, sometimes that happens with my name. So it's Robotic Head, but some people call it Robotic Cheed. Yeah, it does happen. So yeah, we're gonna implement that. We also should do the same with the type and the priority. So we just need this information up here. We don't need much of this information because that's actually gathered from another API point at the moment. So yeah, let's jump into it. We're gonna edit the serializer. So we got the requirement item status name. And type name. So if we go over here, requirement item status. All right. Requirement item type, do we actually have in there? We do. All right. So item status ID equals serializers dot. Now this will just be a primary related field, and then. How have I done this in the past? I only did this last stream and I've already forgotten. Are you solving that Rubik's Cube or just fidgeting with it? A bit of both. At the moment I'm fidgeting with it, but you'll see me solve it every now and then. So, especially during the ads, what I tend to do is I pause the stream so no one misses out on any content and I just solve it then. I also have a 4x4, which is probably behind me. Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, there it is. A 4x4, 5x5, a helicopter one, a gear. I forgot what that one's called. I probably never solved it before. And a good old triangle one, which I've forgotten its name. Not quite a pyramid. It's actually a very, very simple triangle one. Now, this is where I do a quick search and be like, read only true. We just want the one with the IDs in it. Hold on, I needed to actually highlight that. So, oh, it's just the query set. All right, cool. So query set will equal, oh, this is a good point. What did I call this again? So we need from this, I'm gonna start opening this up like this. Oops. And this will be, whoops. List of requirement item statuses. A list of requirement item type. Alright, yep. Oh, and don't forget everyone, you can do exclamation point drop followed by your favorite emoji. I'm doing shocked max to enter the drop. Sadly on YouTube, we don't have this implemented on YouTube. Yeah, sorry about that. But that's what this game is. If you're wondering why there's cats and emojis coming down, Blinters with the 18.76, congratulations. So yeah. So we need to go list of requirement item statuses dot objects dot. I'm going to go filter is deleted equals false. We don't want any data coming through that is going to be false. And then that's pretty much that. We do need to exclude the original one. So we need to exclude the requirement item status, easy done. And we're going to exclude the requirement item type as well, as we're going to put that in right now. So I want to go up to 16. I want to go requirement item type ID equals serializers dot primary key related field query set equals list of requirement item type dot objects dot filter. We're just going to go is deleted equals false. Easy done. Solve the cube. All right, sweet. So Blinters, pick a color. Oops, wrong screen. So you got yellow, blue, orange, red, white, and green. Green. All right, cool. So that will be this face here. I'm just going to turn off this light because it causes a lot of glare on the cube. So yeah, we're just going to do this, and then there's that corner. So there's the green, and then from here. Oops. And thank you very much for the follow, Systemovich. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So there's the two lines. I'm not the fastest at this. I've got to learn a lot more algorithms specifically for the two lines section. I know I can get the one face and two lines pretty straight away. It's just I haven't learned those algorithms that yet. Oh, this nearly fell apart then. And there we go. So yeah, get back into it. Can I do it one-handed? I tend to accidentally throw it when doing it one-handed. I don't know why or how, but it happens. I think when I'm doing it one-handed, I think I sort of push against something and it just goes whee. So the answer is no. No, I can't do it one-handed. But it is funny to watch when I try. Must provide a query set argument. I have. Sometimes you got to stop and rerun this. Oh, that's okay. You'll see me actually do one quite often. So, yeah. Now, I wish they fixed this bug in here. All right, so in here, we've got the status ID, then we've got the name, then we've got the type and the name, and then we've got the title, we've got the scope, we've got the priority. I've got to do the priority now. So down here, I'm going to go requirement item priority ID equals, that is just going to be a serializers.read only field. That's going to be the source now. Ooh. We'll need the priority in specific cases. So when we're creating a requirement item, let's actually double check this. So if we're going to go into here, network error, but that's fine. Oh, we don't have the requirement. Sorry, we don't have the, what I'm trying to think of. We don't have the priority in here. So yeah, we default it. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem at all. We're probably going to do the same thing. And the reason why we've got all the red is because the server is locked up at the moment because we've got this. And that will be requirement item priority. No. This is an ID. Sorry, I've got this wrong. Primary key related field. All right, cool. And then we got the not the source. We got the query set equals, and we don't actually have this at the moment, so we'll. Ooh. I'm gonna double check the models because I'm wondering how I've set this up. So we're going to go into the models. We're going to search for requirement item. So here it is. So we've got the status. Requirement item okay, so it's an integer field with the choices. Now I'm just wondering how I've set that up elsewhere. So we're just going to look that up. So that's actually perfect. We're going to copy what we've done elsewhere. So it's going to be a choice field, so we're going to get rid of that. So the reason why we're not using a primary key related field is we actually don't set this up anywhere else. This is an enum. So the choices will be like that. Now, with this, sorry, I was meant to jump onto the models. We've got the object card priority. All right, cool. So it's going to be the same thing here. So it's going to be choices equals object card priority. We can get rid of that one. We just need to import this. This is pretty easy to import. I do believe we just, I hate that bug. We import it from, I do believe from the models itself. So we want to go up to line 5. Object card priority, element OP, QR element OP. So that's got to be there. Easy done. Sorry, I like things in alphabetical order. It makes it easier for me to find. So, card priority, that should now be fine. There we go. Just in case I spelled something wrong in there, most likely. And then whenever we're importing something, yeah, I've got to think about the priority and how we do it. I do believe we just will get the user to use the IDs. However, it will provide documentation for the user being like, all right, in this particular case, number 1 is going to be like the highest. Number 2 is going to be high, and so forth like that. So yeah. All right. And hey, Sounddrift, how are you? No, I can't. I've got a job at the moment, but thank you very much. All right, so we've done that. If we hit refresh, ooh, all right, no, we've broken something. So got attribute when trying to requirement item priority ID on that. I might need to, all right. Okay. So we do need to get rid of the ID in this sort of case because it isn't really a foreign key. So, do commas after a single arg really make sense? The reason why I put commas after is just a force of habit. There's a lot of times that I'll add something in here without actually looking at the previous line. It just causes an error. I just add it at the end. It doesn't harm anything. So yeah. If you're planning on expanding it, yeah. Do I know? Inside it as in his life that is going on. And Mamek, how are you going? And no, I don't know he. Sorry, I just don't know him. Alright. So we've got that going. We're going to hit refresh. We should now see in here the priority is going to be a 2. I'm just one. Ooh, we've got ads happening. Oh, not good at all, Marmek? Oh, I'm sorry to hear. What's the problem? All right, we've just hit our ad break on Twitch, so we're just going to this. We also have socks down here. Ooh, there we go. Sound drift. That's could you stop spamming? I might after stream. I'm currently in the middle of a stream. Alright. There's Socks. She's just wanting some pats. We've got about 30 seconds left of ads. So, yep. Won't be long now. For those on YouTube, we run ads on Twitch to stop the pre-rolled ads. Don't worry, you don't get any ads. So, yeah. Yeah, we just do this to pause stream. Alright. Getting this done. We also have Matt wanting to occupy the bed. You want to occupy the bed, don't you? And we're about 3 seconds off. Anyway. Is that a Keychron keyboard? Yes, it is. I keep forgetting the version number. It is a Keychron K2. I've sadly busted up the switches on the side of it, so I've got 2 keyboards at the moment, one for the Mac setup and one for the Linux setup, mainly because I can no longer switch between Mac and Linux, which is annoying. Alright, She fell while coming out of the bathroom. Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Marmek. That's horrible. I hope she gets better. Yeah. So luckily, at work, I needed to bring my keyboard and stuff home, and so I did. Alright, now I'm just wondering how we did this with the... Let's go search the task priority again. Task priority equals serializers. Now we've got a choice field. Task priority name. Alright, cool. We can do this. This is going to be easy to do. Are you okay there, Socks? I don't know if you guys can see. She's playing with the ball at the moment. There you go. She's just gonna run off. Alright. So. She had to go through Operation 20. Ooh. Oh, that's a big plate. Yeah. No, I hope she gets better soon. That sucks. That honestly does suck. So, yeah. All right, in here, we're gonna go requirement item priority text equals, and this is where we go serializers dot read only field, and then we go source equals get, and we're just going to go requirement item priority display. All right, so down here, I know we're going to have a method. Actually, no. We don't. We just need get requirement item priority display. And the system does it for you. And no, welcome. I do hope you're having a good time. You're mentally tired and only unlucky. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. You're going through a rough patch. And it's not fun. It's definitely not fun at all. And I do apologize. Yeah, I do feel sorry that you are going through something like that. That is horrible. And hopefully you make it out at the end a lot stronger. So, yeah. Alright, so we've got the requirement item priority and the text there now, so I'm quite happy with that. And that should all be what we require for the moment. So, yeah. Alright, next thing we've got to do. I am solving the cube for no reason. And what's your opinion on vibe coding? That's really my opinion on the AI and all that kind of stuff. AI is a great tool, but once again, it's a tool. You don't become reliant on just one tool. It is also, I like to think of it as like Wikipedia when doing research. It is a great place to start. However, if you want to learn and expand the knowledge of that particular item, or in this case, programming, you're going to have to actually extend your knowledge base. You're going to have to learn elsewhere. You're going to have to do things yourself. So, yeah. Vibe coding is good in a couple of cases. For example, if you got stuff like templating to set up, which is all boilerplate sort of stuff, it is great to get that out the door. It's also great to see how other people have solved problems. But yeah, once again, it is a tool. You should be learning. Why the redundant prefixes? It's the same entity, is it not? Yes, it's just how I set things up in the database sort of level. So the thing is, the database is well over 8 years old. Back when I set all of this up, I kind of wanted these prefixes being in there. So if someone did a select all and joined two tables together, they didn't have to worry about, oh, okay, this is actually from the requirement item table, and prefix it in there. So yeah. That's just coming from a sort of data scientist sort of level, where essentially I was using a database and I had to explicitly state which column came from which table, just because there were several mistakes made by putting in a column into an Excel spreadsheet and no one knew where it came from. You can use DB column. This is Django. So, yeah. A really nice take, yeah. Oh, thank you. All right, so going in here, we've set that all up. Yep, I'm happy with that. So we've got the ID, we've got the status ID, status name, we've got type ID. All right, cool. So someone who's reading this can easily go through and be like, all right, cool. These are all the values I need out of this. Cool. Let's start doing the list. So under the we're just going to move this one up. So we've got the requirement items, API view. I'm going to close that serializer. We no longer need it. We're going to go down into the list. We're going to do the list first. So in here, what we want to do, and I'm trying to remember. What we want to do. So we want to get a list of all the requirement items. So we want requirement, oops, I spelled that wrong. Requirement item results equals requirement items dot objects dot filter, where is deleted equals false. And then we've got the, sound drift. I don't know who you're talking about at the moment, and you're kind of just spamming. It's not appreciated at all in chats and stuff like that. So we've got that, and then we want to connect to the requirement ID equals, and this is where we go the quags, and it'll actually be in that. Then that's pretty much all the data we want. We then pass it through the serializer. So the serializer will go through the requirement item serializer. We just go the requirement item results, easy done. Down here, we'll just go data equals serializer.data. In fact, I'll just delete that. Status equals status.200. Easy done. And that should be it. So if we go over here, and I get rid of that one at the end and hit enter. Ooh. Cannot resolve keyword is deleted. I've made a boo-boo. Unique many equals true. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for actually pointing that out. Fleet. Oh yeah, Fleet Fox. Thank you very much. Sorry, the text is really, really tiny. All right, we do need to also get that done. So for some strange reason, I don't have is I do. Did I just spell it wrong? Highly possible I spelled it wrong. ED at the end. All right. Yeah, I spelt it wrong. By the way, did you add changes from the patch I sent you? Oh, did I? I probably have not, sorry. No, I haven't. Sorry, I thought you were putting them in a pull request. Unless it's that pull request from a couple of weeks ago. Soundrift, you are headed towards a timeout in a minute. All right, there we go. So we have all of that done. So that was a pretty easy one. Oh yes, please. Yeah, that'll be a lot easier for me. Sorry, I haven't had time whatsoever. So yeah. All right. I'm sorry, Soundrift, but yeah, no. All right. You're the first one that has actually got a timeout before on YouTube. And it's not appropriate. Oh, cheers. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's just no time. I've been exhausted too. So, all right. The list is done. So we've done the retrieve. We've done the list. We've done the destroy. We've just got the create and update to do. Okay, cool. So let's do the create first. Let's actually go over here. Let's have a look at what we need to actually create it. So we'll need the item title, item scope, we'll need the status, and the requirement type. And that's about it. So 4 fields, easy done. So we can do that. Now with the serializers, we've got to double check the serializers. So we'll have, that's a read only. So we'll have the IDs. Now, this is where it's, yeah. But the priority is, to add patch files to my, okay. Yep. Yeah, we'll definitely, next month, we'll definitely be fixing up a lot of the API and stuff like that. So yeah, getting it out, getting it tested, and finding those issues, definitely we'll need to clean that up. So yeah, I definitely won't start 032 until we're happy with the API. Which is why I give myself till September. All right. I'm just trying to think with the requirement item priority. We'll figure this out. That's not going to be a problem. I don't know if that field might be required. Actually, we can turn that off. All right, easy done. We can also change it to a read-only and be happy that way. All right. So over here, I'm just going to minimize this. I'm going to, now this will be similar to, we haven't actually done much with this, have we? Yeah. All right. I'm going to copy the organization one, so I'm going to duplicate that. We're actually going to put this as requirement item. We're not going to worry about no permissions at the moment. I've got to organize this up, this up. And Dideric87, ahoy, hey, hey, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. What is NearBeach? NearBeach is an open source project management system. So if the server's still running, there we go. We're currently working on requirement items, but inside NearBeach you can get basic organization and customers. You can have your own Kanban board. You can gather user requirements and break them down into requirement items. And from there you can create projects and tasks. When you're ready for a deployment, you've got a request for changes. If you've ever had to do one, they're fun, those requests for changes. So we've got all of this. And sorry, I've just lost my train of thought. All right. And RJ, how are you going? The Winsby Fair in OFS. How you be today? I'm okay. I'm okay. A little tired, but not as tired as last stream, so that is good. I am actually talking this stream instead of drooling and figuring out what the hell I'm doing. So yeah, today we're working on the API. So this little beastie, we are ready to do the create and update. And once we've done that, we are going to do a push tonight. It's been a little while since we've done a push. A release, not a push. All good, dull, grey and cold here. How are you? It is dull and grey and cold here too, so I can fully understand that. In here, it is around about, time to get a new thermometer because this says 19. It ain't 19 in here. It is about 15. RESTful API, yes, we are using the Django REST framework. If you've ever heard of it. So the Django is the model view controller framework built on top of Python, and the Django REST framework is the API which you can connect up to it. So yeah, RESTful. So yeah. As for, sorry, I am going to show the weather. It is currently 13 degrees Celsius, and I think it is only a couple of degrees warmer in here. Use Django as the backend in projects. Yeah, fair enough. I like it. I really do like it. We also use VueJS for the front end. So a lot of this, let's say we want to add in another couple of groups, that's all VueJS. So the page doesn't reload, it just re-renders everything out. So yeah. Easy done. And then, yeah, we can add people and stuff to it. And all right, getting back into this. So we will do, yeah, when was our last release? Sorry, I've just got to look this up, otherwise it'll annoy the hell out of me. We did a release 14 days ago, so 2 weeks. So we definitely need to do another push soon. And that's just because all the libraries underneath would have updated, and we kind of want to include that too. Usually run Angular or just HTML. Fair enough, fair enough. It's been a while since I've used Angular, but I do remember liking it. I also do use React also. So those are my, in order, I would go VueJS, React, and then Angular. However, that being said, I wouldn't mind trying Svelte or something like that in the near future. So, yeah. I'm a little diagnostic. Not diagnostic. I don't mind which framework to use. So yeah, and the other reason why I use Vue for NearBeach is because I'm just more familiar with it, and that's it. I'm a nit familiar with VueJS. Svelte is a bit odd. Fair enough. Fair enough. Agnostic. Yes, I don't know why I said diagnostic. Words do not come to me tonight. I am no wordsmith. Alright, so we've got that data. We just now need to do the create. Now, the reason why I've done this is because we can actually edit all of this and get this working. So we can go list requirement item. In here we can go, and this is where Postman screwed up the other time and it started actually editing the wrong things. Requirement / we're going to go to, and then we're going to go requirement item and do that. We do, I think, need a new token in here for, yeah, we do need a new token. So we're going to cheat. We're going to open up this. We're going to go radio. Oops, sorry, Max. You just wanted to touch my hand then. And we're just going to go to the team lead. Now, the reason why we're picking number 2 is I do want to actually check the permissions are working. So we want to go in here. We want to click on that and boom. All right, we've got all of our data. Easy done. And I think that chat is not working on this page. There we go, refresh. That does happen sometimes and it's really annoying. And I think it stopped working there too. So I'm just going to refresh. I am sorry if I miss something. The only thing I don't like about Django is that it comes with SQLite and that usually needs to be changed. So, yes, I fully understand. We do, NearBeach does support all the databases that Django does support. I find it pretty easy to switch the databases up. So we use SQLite for our local developments and stuff like that. So if someone were to download the code, they can get NearBeach up and running on a development environment very, very quickly. However, that being said, for our production, we're using MySQL. Comes with pluggable backends. Yeah, you can switch it out. All right, so if you get a new Django project up and running, by default, it uses SQLite 3. Yeah, there is a bit of I'll just go to in here. We actually pass through the databases and all that kind of stuff. So the user does need to sort of specify what database they want to use. But yeah, that's the same when you set up a new Django environment. But in our sort of case, you would just scroll down here and you can change all of this pretty quickly. So yeah, if you're creating a local development environment, SQLite is actually quite nice to actually have, because it just means you don't need to set up that database layout too. Yeah. All right. Getting back into it. So we've got that. We're getting there. So we're just going to paste that. This is not get organization. This is requirement item number 1. So it should be like that. So we're going to hit save. Invalid token. Yes, it is. We'll fix that up in a second. We just need to go into here. We're just going to copy that. We're going to go back down into here. Headers. We're just going to change that. We're going to save that, and we're going to hit send. Easy done. So we're getting the 1. Now with the put. All right. So going in here, we got the API. We've got the create. What we want to do is we want to go serializer equals requirement item serializer request.data, and then we want context equals request. Request.request or context. Hang on, I've got to look that up because I know I do something for this. And there is a reason why. And I've forgotten why. Let's go to the project one. It's just request what request. All right, easy done. So that is done like that. And then if not serializer dot is valid, what we want to do is return response. The data is going to equal the serializer dot errors. Easy done. The status is going to equal status dot 400 because it's a bad request, and we're going to do that. Easy done. And the next thing is we have not implemented this. I just want to get this working. So we need to copy this. Now that's a put. We actually want to post. We want to get rid of that. What is the sigma? Sorry, I don't know the context of that. So we want to post to requirement item team leader 200. Easy done. So we're just going to need to go into the headers. I'm just going to go and yank this token again. We're going to hit save. We're going to hit send. We've got a 500. Cannot call is valid. No data equals when passed through when installing. All right. Did I just do something silly and not do that? Am I running this project in a Docker container? Locally, no. Locally, it is quite literally, I just cloned it from Git, and that's how I'm running it locally, but this is a development environment, so that's perfectly fine. As for hosting it, yes, we do actually host it in a Docker container. However, that being said, it shouldn't be too hard to do it outside of Docker container if you know how to host a Django web server. So, yeah. Timing of seeing this stream is funny. I'm studying for my PMP right now. Fair enough. So yeah, good luck with your studying. It's nothing like it. I'm just beginning coding, and I saw this video, and I'm understanding nothing. Well, that's fine. Don't be worried about that at all, and don't be scared about knowing nothing. There's a lot to programming, and there's a lot of stuff I don't know, and I've been doing it for a while. So yeah. Just think of it as another problem that you're going to solve. If you like problems, solving problems, then programming's great. Why are you re-implementing default views if it's a model view set? It already implements them because it does stuff differently. Each object does something slightly different, so that's why they've been re-implemented. All right, so we got that. We're gonna hit send. And now it's going to be like, all right, these particular fields are all different. So yeah, one step at a time. And my recommendation too is a lot of time when you're learning how to do anything and stuff like that, you take these little tiny steps up, and I'm just going to quickly draw the rest of these steps, but you end up somewhere like here, and you're constantly looking up, and you're like, there's a lot to learn. I feel like I've learnt nothing. But in reality, you should also look back too. Look at how far you've come. My recommendation is whenever you want to learn something, build something small, build a project or something, just something really, really tiny, something that you can do in a few hours, no longer than a day. And then as you learn something new and stuff like that, come back to that project in like 3 or 4 weeks or something like that and see if you can build it better, because you'll be surprised that you've learned a lot, and now that you're looking back, you're like, I could do this differently. So yeah, there's a lot of things I can do differently in NearBeach. So for example, the database is something which has been haunting me forever. I deleted my code back in August 2020. I only deleted 95% of it. Should have deleted 100% of it. That 5% of the code was essentially the database, and I've regretted it since. So I should absolutely wipe the hell out of that database, made everything pretty much generic and so forth like that. That's actually going to happen when we upgrade to 0.32. So, yeah. I am going to refresh my chat windows because I'm sorry if I lose any chat messages or anything like that on Twitch. When I'm switching these windows around and stuff like that, some of them aren't updating the chat tonight, and it is really weird. Alright, just restart? Yeah, pretty much. But that's fine. There's a lot of big projects do that eventually. So I remember back in like 2010 or 2009, Blender, the 3D programming software, decided to rewrite from scratch, and it's been great because of that. What's your overall goal with creating this open source just for your portfolio? I'm hoping to give back to the open source community. I'm hoping that I can give them tools that they can use to help, build more open source projects. One way to do that is a project management sort of stuff. The next thing I want to do is essentially dealing with bugs and quality control and stuff like that. So yeah. I've answered that one already. So yeah. All right, so we've got the data coming through. We've got the serializer like that. So we're doing the create. And I'm just thinking we'll need the instance. Actually, no, we don't need the instance for the requirement. Okay, and I know there was a follow or something like that. Voring XBL, thank you very much for the follow. Greatly appreciated. I hope you are enjoying my content. So, yeah. Alright, so set up the data. What we need is submit requirement item equals requirement item. Oh, I can't spell. And then we're opening up that. We'll need the requirement ID equals, and then we're going to do the quads, and we're going to do the requirement ID. If I can spell. Then, if I wanted to become capable of creating software for, let's say, freight tracking or reconciliation payments for supply chain business, I'm curious as I'm thinking of career shifting. How long will it take? I mean, well, it depends. So, now this is going to be a big assumption. If that was all, hang on, let me figure out my words first. I am not the best with the wordsmithing. It will take a while. How long that takes is up to you. So the idea is you've essentially got to learn the basis of programming. that can take from a year to a couple of years to really master it. From there, you've then got different problems to solve. So I don't know how complex tracking freight tracking is. Sounds actually quite awesome and a good problem to solve, but you'll have to learn how to actually solve that and be able to be like, all right, cool. For me to solve this in the programming, I'll need to do this. All right. As for payments and stuff like that, luckily nowadays there are tools out there like PayPal, Stripe, and so forth like that can help with that. So they add on that sort of abstraction for you. So that will be a little bit easier to learn. Yeah, as Nocturnal says, it is a big project, start smaller. My recommendation is, yeah, just learn how to program, start with something small, build something which can take you an hour to build or at max a day. Don't jump into a massive sort of project like I did with project management system. Yeah. And yeah, just learn. Yeah. Right, yeah, and when you have big projects, you want to break them down into smaller and smaller parts and so forth like that until you're like, oh, I can solve this, and you solve that little tiny part, and then you solve the next little tiny part, and then by the time you've realized you've solved a bigger problem. So yeah. Interesting. HTML, CSS, UI, structure, JavaScript, logic, interactive, React, or Next.js, modern web. Alright, so I'm assuming you're asking what sort of software to use. So, my recommendation is look at those companies. So, let's go, company, software, logistics software company, it should be. Alright, let's just take NetSuite. Okay, what you would want to do is look at their jobs. So you would jump into the jobs. You'll search for a couple of these particular companies. You can use their own company website and stuff like that. You go through and you start looking for software. Oh, that's a CF. That's not it. VP of Financing, Privacy. Analyst, finance. Sorry, you sort of look for the software sort of stuff, and you start reading what they want you to know. Oh. I'm just using this one as an example. So you go in, they're like JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML5, CSS, React, familiar with Redux, and you sort of compile a quick list of being like, all right, cool. These particular companies are asking for knowledge in these particular languages and these particular tech and stuff like that. And you sort of learn that. And that's, yeah. And yeah, learning a lot of that will take time. And that's why you optimize by looking at what they actually require. However, that being said, if your first language takes this much time to learn, your second language takes a lot quicker, your third language even quicker, your fourth, fifth, sixth, and so forth a lot quicker. Because there's transferable knowledge from the first one into the second one. For example, you don't need to learn how for loops work over again. You just need the syntax of that in the new language. You've already in your head understand how to structure a program and so forth like that. So, yeah. As senior developers would usually don't reinvent the wheel, looks for tools that already exist. Yeah. Yep. That's why I'm in chat asking real for advice. Unless it's Haskell, yep. So yeah, hopefully this helps. But yeah, I did a switch. So when I graduated university, I graduated using maths. Sorry, I don't have my tablet connected up, and I'm left-handed using maths with my right hand. I went into essentially what's called a data scientist. So I knew how to program because we used it quite a lot. And then I went into IT and absolutely hated that role, and I upskilled myself into becoming a web dev. So yeah, it is possible. The timeliness structure is correct unless it's Java. Timeline, all right. So yeah, I haven't actually used Java. I haven't programmed in it. So yeah. Agree. I work in management for a shipping company and we use between 20 different softwares and it's a big mess, especially when it comes to reconciling, and it seems there's a lot of gaps for a lot of things within logic. Oh, fair enough. You went from network technician to full stack dev. Nice, nice. So I'm also do a little bit of system administration. Socks, you know not to lean on the iPad. She does it every single time. That was just out of curiosity though. That was essentially, if we'll go to this timeline, that would have been around here. So back in like, before I graduated, I was like, you know what? I want to learn how to do all of this and stuff like that. So yeah. And it's helped me with my job. So my last job, they got me to do quite a lot of the system admin. This particular one, not so much, but I do jump in every now and then for the Linux stuff. So yeah. Yeah, used to work for a warehouse company building their in-house management system. The space is a mess, so fair enough. I keep meaning to go back at some point and write one from scratch. There we go. I have never touched it, any logistics sort of stuff, and I'm afraid to touch it. I would assume there's a lot going on. Alright, jumping back into this. So submit requirement item. We've got the status ID, status Alright, cool. So I'm just going to copy these, just for reference. Yeah, they're just there for reference. We'll delete them. Okay, so we're just going to go from the top to the bottom. So requirement item, not the ID, the status. Oh, the status ID. All right, no, that will work. And then that will be serializer get. Get validated data, and it'll be requirement item status ID. All right, cool. And then I'll just delete that. I'll clean this up very, very quickly. Requirement we've got. Easy done. It's going to be so. In fact, screw it. I can do this. Oi. Equal serializer, validated data. Whoa, did not do that correctly. Requirement item type ID. Get rid of that one line. Equals serializer dot validated data, and then it is requirement item title. However, we're missing the description. So if we go back into here, oops, this particular one. Oh, that's the information. Sorry, the requirement information. We want to go in here and create. We've also got the scope, so I've got to get the scope in there too. So I'm going to go over into here. And yeah, we don't actually have it as a required field. So I'm going to, in here, I'm going to put it at the end. Requirement item scope equals serializers dot character field required equals true. That's just going to be easy. So requirement item scope equals serializer dot validated data, and then requirement item scope. Now there's other things we need in here. So we need to create user. Oh, we don't have create user. We have change user equals request.user, easy done. We have, so where I go back into the models and I'll double check everything. So that's auto generated. That's already connected. Title and scope were done. Status were done. Type were done. These will be fine. Those will auto generate. We're not worried about those particular fields yet. Previous company was worse. We used SAP and many things, and it was a mess. We used Flexport. They were good, but everything else was very messy. Problem generally is everyone has their own processes and they want to do it their own way. Yes. And sometimes you got to draw a line in the sand to be like, no. A lot of companies end up being siloed. So when I was working at the university, you had one department over here, you had another department over here, you had a couple over here, and some over here, and they all did different processes, and they're all strung up with little loose pieces of string. And it is really annoying when you're trying to centralize something to get everything looking nice. Really annoying. What you can do is start with a rough idea of the project and which problems you want to resolve. Yeah. Write down your requirements and break them down into requirement items. You loose pieces of string. Lucky we had post-it notes between the buildings. Yeah. There's a couple of projects I was involved in. One was meant to get, both times were meant to get software out to the rest. Well, actually, it's getting software out to different departments. One of them was pretty much almost university-wide, and the other one was just to a particular group. And even then, there were silos within silos, and a lot of pushback and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, this is mandated. The project I had just before I left had some bonkers processes. I was already thinking of leaving, but that one pushed me to over the edge. Fair enough. Don't blame you. Alright, requirement item priority. We are defaulting that. That's default. That's fine. Date created, date modified. Those are default. Change user and is deleted. Alright, cool. So one of the database fixes we're going to do is, a lot of you guys have noticed that these particular fields are everywhere. We're going to, instead of have models.model, we're going to build our own little base model and then extend every other model from that and actually include these generics in there. So yeah. This I have mind mapped out, and GPT has given you some insights on what is likely required, though I felt I needed to ask programmers first. I know software engineering and asked him, and he said it's a good idea, but learning curve will take a while. Yeah, the learning curve will always take a while. But never really gave much beyond that. Ooh, one recommended source of learning. We also recommend Free Code Camp. Mainly because they're free. The problem with it is people always treat you like Google and want stuff to be instant as a Google result. Yeah. Yep. So, Free Code Camp. You don't need to sign up. You just go menu, curriculum. But in here you can learn. This is mainly towards web development. However, that being said, you can learn some basics of programming in here. So for example, scientific with computing with Python, you'll start your thing and it gives you a sort of thing. So what is this asking me to do? Variables are essential part of Python and programming language. A variable name can, you declare a variable, yep, example code, create number, number, hello? Is it, oh, do I have to add it in here? That was pretty easy. So yeah, and yes, roadmap.sh is also good. So yeah, you would go into here and you'll be like, all right, cool. let's say you're interested in game development because that's the one that stuck out to me. You can go, all right, cool, client-side development. You can read up on it. You've got a couple of articles from it and so forth like that. So yeah. Now, once again, these are all great tools. Just one little point, you don't use just one tool. So you would use this, yes, but then you would go out and sort of learn from other like blog articles, YouTube, books, and so forth like that. Now, another thing I would also recommend is every now and then have a look at the book bundles in Humble Bundle, because sometimes you'll have, learn to program. Some of this stuff pop up. I'm not saying always buy them. Have a look at the books and be like, do I need them? Before going ahead and buying them. Like, a lot of these I probably won't need. But yeah, alright. Those I won't need. But there might be stuff in here, like, if I wanted to sort of sharpen up my C# and be like, oh, okay, cool, no, I can get some of this. So, yeah. If you're comfortable with it, I can take a look at the project and help you get it started. It's the most important thing you can do is is to start programming and learn as you go. Yeah. So, yeah, highly recommend that. Build little projects and stuff like that. Stuff that will not take a long time, just to get used to it. Z Library is another good spot for books. Oh. I have not heard of this at all. Let's actually look up. Let's go on Braco. Okay. Year 2011. All right. And that one might be a little outdated. Let's go Django. Django for beginners. All right. Cool. 2018. It's might be outdated. Just because there's been a lot that has happened in the last 7 years, trust me. So yeah, but otherwise, yeah. Let's go .NET. There might be 5.5. So yeah. But now I'll keep mapping it out and asking if it seems doable. I'm gonna take the leap. I have become bored of management and I feel need to progress elsewhere. Yeah, fair enough. If you love problem solving, programming is great for problem solving, because you always come up against a problem and you're like, how can I solve that with my knowledge? Or you'll be like, all right, I don't have all the knowledge. Let's learn a little bit more, and then I can solve it. So yeah. It's a bit outdated, but great. Freeze. Yeah. Because, yeah, I know Django has done... Unless they talk about Django 2 onwards, I know there was a big change between Django 1 and Django 2. Because when I started writing NearBeach 8 years ago... actually a little bit longer than that. Back in 2016, I started seriously taking web development, upskilling it myself and stuff like that. I know that I was using Django 1, and when it moved to Django 2, there was a lot of changes. So, problem solving bigger things. Yeah. Part of the reason for me kind of like, yeah, set the card. Yeah, fair enough. You love programming if you love problem solving. Alright, getting back into this. Alright, where was I? So, I've done all the fields that we require in here. We should just go now, submit requirement item.save, and then we'll go to serializer dot equals requirement item serializer. We're just going to go requirement item dot objects dot get. And thank you very much for the follow, the disco option. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. And also, I really like your name. I've been playing a little bit of, oh my god, I can't remember. All right, what? Disco Elysium. So, yeah. And then submit requirement item dot requirement item ID. We're just getting that because there'll be a lot of fields generated in there. We just go down here. We're just going to go data equals serializer dot data, and then the status will equal status dot HTTP2. Actually, we don't want that one. Sorry, we actually want the created one. Whoops. Created. All right. So yeah, welcome, Disco. And I like that emote. Oh, it's Pirate Software's emote. Okay. Oh, it's one of the little ferrets. Nice. Okay, let's do a create. So I'm just going to hit send. We know this ain't going to work because I don't have the values in there, and that is good. Now, let's go and put in the body requirement item status ID. We're just going to go 1. I wish that tab worked. Requirement item item type ID. We're just going to go, let's go 2. Requirement item scope. I'm just going to go hello world. Easy done. Nothing exciting about that. Requirement item title hello world, and then the requirement is not needed because it's this one up here. Oh, okay, so I know a bug already. Going into here, we want to go into the requirement item serializer. We're just going to scroll, and we don't actually need this information. And the reason being is we'll have it in the URL. If the person doesn't know what their requirement is, it's in the URL. The hardest thing to learn in programming is 1, breaking stuff down into smaller steps. Yep. And feature creep is real. Yes, yes, yep. Yep, yes it is. Yeah, don't go ahead and build yourself a project management system because you'll be at it for 8 years. So, yes. However, we've gotten to a point where we're happy with it, and now we're going to polish things up a lot better. 3, sometimes the shiny treasure. I'm going to assume that's in. Sometimes the shiny treasure in your head is a booby trap. Yep. It sounds like you're in my head. So, yeah. So make mini projects and deliberately practice on those things. Yeah. Make something small whilst you're learning and so forth like that. You essentially build up a repertoire and you start being like, I think I can solve that little problem over there. And you do what's called a proof of concept. So something chonky that just kind of works at the moment. It's definitely not polished. Definitely won't work in a production environment, but it's meant to prove something. So yeah. And then after that, yeah, you can do minimal viable products where it does kind of work and so forth like that. So yeah. For example, the API at the moment is a proof of concept in NearBeach. So at the moment, we've got our own sort of endpoints and so forth like that. We're going to be replacing them with the API and open that up to everyone. So yeah, so at the moment, it's a proof of concept. We're going to polish the hell out of it before we get to 0.32. Oh yes, keep it simple, stupid. That's also another one too. So don't overly complicate everything. So yeah. And don't take concepts too far. So for example, dry is don't repeat yourself. That concept in itself is good. However, you can take it to the extreme, and in which case it becomes terrible. So yeah, spend many nights yelling at the PC, debugging, pleading with the PC, and sometimes a tear of joy when stuff works without knowing why. Yeah, yep. Or you've done a spelling mistake and you can't find the bug. I remember calling up the senior dev at work and being like, I just can't get this to work. It's just not working whatsoever. I misspelt the controller. So yeah, there was many tears that day. Anyway, I'm gonna hit. We've got a 500 internal server error. Now, is that because I reached? No, that's because something else happened. That's fine. We'll go through it. So, requirement item, status ID, expected number, but got listed. Oh, all right. So it looks like I don't need the IDs on here. I just need to do that, and that should work perfectly fine. I have heard of that. Vertically integrate stuff slowly and keep it simple. Don't do too much too fast. Yep. When I deleted NearBeach and started rewriting it, I only focused on the request for change first. And then slowly over time I started adding in the modules and so forth like that. Another sort of recommendation for me, and this is what I tend to do, is every now and then stop and debug everything and fix all the bugs and just refactor stuff. Stop focusing on new features, go back and restore the foundations. And we did this. And the ad break happened right then, and I was like, I'm on a roll, I'm going to do an example and stuff like that, and boom, ad break. For those on YouTube, we've got ads on Twitch. We tend to run ads every half an hour so people don't get pre-rolled ads because they suck. Yeah, we do this so no one misses out on any content. Yeah, you guys don't need to worry. You guys don't have any ads whatsoever, so don't worry about it. Relax, chill. We get to sell the Rubik's Cube and stuff like that. And I'm gonna wait, Diedrich, until after the ads to say thank you, because I don't know if you're in an ad or not. Actually, I better. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, where are we with the ads? We're about 40 seconds off. That's perfectly fine. I'll be able to solve this cube in time. 40 seconds is plenty, considering I just got to get the top done. Look at this. Oh. Someone asked me before whether or not I can do this one-handed. I think this proves that is a big fat no. There you go, it's solved. Considering I drop it with, you know, two hands and... yeah. Alright, we are going back. Welcome back, everyone. Alright, and thank you very much, Rick, for the follow. Greatly appreciated. So, yeah, you had an ad earlier. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. And I was saying something about, oh yes. So, every now and then, if you are building something, let's say you've learned quite a lot and you're starting to actually build this project, which is going to be exciting and stuff like that. Every now and then, stop with the feature build and look back at usability and stuff like that, and really focus on fixing all the bugs, fixing all the UI and stuff like that, and making it as polished as possible. And then once that's done, you'll find that when you go add in new features and stuff like that, because you refactored the code so it can be extendable and stuff like that, it's going to be a lot easier. You'll also notice that customers sort of complain less because the code is working. Yeah. So yeah, that's my recommendation. We did that at NearBeach. So 0.30 was our sort of bug fixing branch. We ended up doing something like, I forgot how many patches, I think 36 patches on 0.30. Took us 7 months to get there to do the release. And the other thing is, we're now going into 0.32. We're going to be refactoring a lot of the code. We're going to be doing this and that. We're essentially doing that inward focus now. So we'll stop actually building in new features. So yeah. And also write something once and throw it away and write it again. Now you know the issue with it. Yeah. Yep. First attempt is to explore the parameter space solutions. Yep. The worst part of coding is, to me, is simplifying a user interface so that people understand. Yeah, so I am not the best at sort of user interfaces. You'll see these are very, very basic. They're just passable and stuff like that. And We're currently at NearBeach. We're currently saving up for a UI UX developer, so all the money we get from stream donations and all that kind of stuff is getting saved up to get the UI UX developer in. Yeah, I think I repeated myself then. All right. From what I know, people want cleaner UI. Yep, more accurate. Yep, and reliable products in terms of two things I'm talking about. Yeah. So yeah, you could focus on that too when you're building a thing. So yeah, biggest issue is accuracy for the okay, yeah, for the payments, all right. But with freight visibility, it's accurate and easy UI. Okay, cool. It's impossible. Users always misuse any interface, and yes, that is true. However, sometimes I've had someone do something in NearBeach, and I think they'll create a new project or something like that, and they're like yada yada yada, blah blah blah, and then it was something. It was something simple, and I do believe it was the organization. And essentially, they couldn't connect the organization up. And I almost went to them and be like, oh yeah, that button's over there and stuff like that. And I realized at that particular point that I had a UI UX bug. It wasn't the customer's fault. It was actually my fault, and I needed to make it more clearer and so forth like that. This is before we chose this sort of layout, so it was horrible, that layout. So yeah, some of the boomers don't know how to use what is available right now. Fair enough. And yes, we do have a Discord. I will just do that also over here so YouTube doesn't miss out. If Nightbot is behaving tonight, we do have a Discord. It is not behaving tonight, Nightbot. Thank you very much. You will be misbehaving the other night too. Give me a couple of seconds. I am terribly sorry. Let me just... I've actually got Discord open right now. Let's go over here. Let's scroll up. Let's just go invite people. Copy that link. Closing this. We're going back over here. We're going... God damn it, Nightbot. It finally did it. When you say we, are there other people working on NearBeach? Well, Nocturnal does submit stuff, so yes. We can make it better, but they will find another way to misuse it. Yes. Yeah. So, I like breaking the product at work and stuff like that. I start using it in ways they don't expect it. So, yep. However, they've really roped that down, which is kind of funny. So, yep. Yeah, and there's been a few people who've submitted patches and pull requests and stuff like that. So yeah, whether they've been a simple fix, documentation change, all the way up to actually implementing new functionality and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay. I'm just going to hit send. Oh, there we go. We've done that one. Sweet. This is awesome. So we've got that out. Now we've just got to do the put. And then we've got to test the delete, but they'll be last. We'll do the put. So straight off the bat, we're updating this. With the put, we're going to actually do number 2. And in the body, we've got all of this data in here. I'm just going to delete all of that. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit send. We haven't set anything up. All right, let's do that right now. So, we're just going to scroll down here. And we are going to go and do the serializer first. Serializer equals requirement item serializer, data equals request.data. We've got some context equals request, and we're passing through request. That's just needed. So if not serializer is valid, we're going to send back a response where the data equals serializer.errors and the status equals status.400 bad request. Easy done. Now, the next thing we need to do and I'm just trying to think if I need to do this anywhere else. I don't think I do. Is we need to go and check to make sure we have the correct requirement item. So what I mean is, let's say we're editing number 2, but that actually belongs under number 2, but we put a number 1 in here. We don't want to edit requirement item 2 if it isn't connected in the right way. So yeah, in here, what we want to do is go requirement item submit equals, we're going to go requirement items dot objects dot filter is deleted equals false. We've got the requirement ID equals the quags requirement ID, and then we have the requirement item ID equal to the PK. Easy done. And then we just go if length of the requirement item submit equals 0, return response data equals requirement item does not exist. And then we go status equals status dot 400. Easy done. And then after that, we're going to cheat and we're going to use the same sort of requirement item submit equals requirement item submit. And we just go ahead and grab the first one, and that's fine. So it goes from a query set into the particular item itself. And then we're going to update the item. And we've got to, are you returning a literal tuple in data? I mean, it's been working like that. I can get rid of it and just have a string. I'm trying to remember where I saw that. I think. And Ivanhoe, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. So in here, oh, they don't have any examples. I don't know where I saw it. Was it under here? We know of that one. But yeah, I'm happy to change it. It won't be a problem. You're doing well? Oh, that's good to hear, Ivanhoe. How am I? I can't complain. A little tired, but that's it. Not too bad. Response will serialize as primitive serializable. It's alright. It's literally set. It's literal set, not triple. Okay, to use triple, return data is not a messy as returning a dictionary. Alright, that makes no sense. Triple or list would if it's iterable, but literal set. So should I just keep it like that? Oop, like that. Because yeah, I can change that. That's not going to be a problem. I think I just saw it somewhere and I've just kept doing that. Just return the string. All right, easy, easy. And when we work on the API next month, what we'll do is we go through and sort of make these as generic as possible. So it's returning pretty much a similar sort of pattern, and go through and make sure it's just the strings. No need for it to be a set. Yep. String or iterable, that makes no sense. String is, yeah, in this sort of case, it can be just a string being sent back. I've probably just seen it like that somewhere and just copied that without realizing it or thinking about it at all. Did not think about it, but yeah. All right, so we want requirement item dot submit, and then we want the requirement ID won't change. We'll have the type. Requirement item, we'll have the scope. Requirement item submit, we'll have the title. Requirement item submit, we'll have the status. And now I really should be going in here and going so. Oh, I should also refresh. Hang on, give me a couple of seconds. Gonna get this into a state that it will be happy with. I'm gonna refresh number 2. We should see hello world, easy done. So we want the title, scope. I'm just gonna go in order of the items in here. We'll probably change that to alphabetical order later. Item scope. We will need the status, so requirement status and type. So status and type, priority. Easy done. And that's pretty much it. A lot of the stuff down here will be once again done differently. Because that's actually, yeah, it's a different API. I'm just gonna do that very, very quickly. Now, because this is actually taking up, no, I'll be consistent. I'll do, it'll be fine. We've got plenty of screen space nowadays. And then we'll need the serializer dot validate data, and then we just need that stuff in there. So that will be requirement item title. We go to the next one, serializer dot validated data, and then requirement item scope, and then we go to the next one. We go serializer dot validated data, and then we've got the requirement item status, and then we go into here, we've got the serializers, validated data, and then we've got the requirement item type. This is pretty easy. Serializers, validated data, and then we've got the requirement item priority. And then we should, but we've also got to requirement item submit dot change user equals request dot user. Okay, and then we save that, and then we send back. Oh, serializer dot equals requirement item serializer data equals the requirement item submit. Easy done. We're actually happy with that. Down here we'll have data equals serializer.data, and then we'll have the status. Status equals status dot, and this will be your 200. And that should be it. Famous last words. So we have done everything for this. Okay. I'm gonna hit the submit on this. We should get requirement item status ID. All right, so yeah, we don't have any of that. I'm gonna go requirement item status ID. Ooh. Why don't you bind serializer and call serializer save? Because I didn't know I could do that. Okay. You're saying, goddamn Twitch chat, come on. Serializer.save, and you're saying bind user request.user, oh, that should be change user. You're saying do that. I'm happy to do that if that works. If this works, then I can go back into other pieces of the code and actually clean it all up. Because yeah, this one's going to be very, very simple. S equals requirement item serializer instance data. I need the instance. All right, so up here. We'll do that on another line. So that will be requirement item result equals requirement item dot objects dot get, and that will be pk. And then down here, we just go requirement item results like that. Usually when we've got something like this, I like to new line a lot of this data. Oops. I'll just use that. Okay, so you're saying do that. And then...
Ooh, who landed? Ivanhoe with a 1402.
Nice. And then you're saying essentially make sure the serializer is okay. I've still got to check for this. But I'm guessing we could put that above here. Check that first. And then do the serializer, which would work easily. Yes, so the user will be logged in. We actually have a decorator for doing all of that. And I do believe we put the decorator for the user logged in up higher. So yeah, all of this would be... where do we put that? I forgot where we put that. So, for example, this particular thing I wouldn't be able to access if I'm not logged in. Ooh, unless... Am I logged in on this? Yes, I am. Alright, let's open this up in the team member. There you go. Authenticate credentials not provided. So yeah, all the API is wrapped out in that. Alright, so this is just a test. This is to get this to see if this will work. So I am going to do the status ID. We're going to make that a 1. I realized I put it in twice. The type ID, we're going to also do it 1. Actually, we're going to go 2. And we're going to do a 2 or a 3. The scope is we're going to put in edited via API in capitals because we're yelling at the machine. The title is going to be API edited. Now, we don't have the priority in here. In reality, we will be sending the priority through. What we'll need to actually do is tell the serializer we don't need it. We need to tell it that it's required when someone does a put. So, yeah. GitHub, encode, Django, REST framework, Blockmaster, mixins. Give me a couple of seconds. Sorry, it pastes over there. So you're using Ajax to handle the data session. I do believe so, yeah. Not 100% sure. All right, instance self-doc. Oh, yes, I could do that. Yes. In which case I could do like that. Thank you very much. Once again, I'll need to double check to make sure that this all lines up. However, that changes. So what I could do is instance equals self.getObject, and then if instance dot requirement ID does not equal the Quargs requirement ID, we'll return response data equals could not find requirement item. Status will equal status dot this is a 400 bad, and then yeah, that should work. We can in fact use instance in here. That will work perfectly fine. That actually then gets rid of that sort of stuff we do, and then that should be update the item, and then we send back the thing. All right, let's test that out. And thank you very much, Philippe Fox. So yeah, if I can improve this, yeah, thank you. They're not the best at the Django REST framework yet. So yeah, there's still a lot for me to learn. All right, oh, we've got to do the priority. So under the requirement item serializer, we've got the priority, requirement item priority somewhere in here. This one, required false. We actually do want it to be true in certain cases. And I'm trying to remember where we edit this. Get fields. There it is. So def get fields, I am going to copy just the next, 5,000 lines and stuff like that. So get the fields, if request not in the context, return fields, we're all happy. If request equals, and this is where we want to go we want to go fields, and then it is, how do we say it? Requirement item priority. Dot required equals, and then we're going to go true, and we return the fields like that. So this is the one case where we do actually want it. We don't necessarily need the priority when we're creating it because it'll fall on a default. However, that being said, what I've got to do is I'll import this, so if it does exist, it'll do it. I am going to hit send. Could not find requirement item. Ooh, so we've got 2 of 2, so that should work unless I've done something silly. I'm just going to put a breakpoint there. We're going to hit send. We're going to hit this breakpoint. We've got the instance. So the instance is here. We've got the requirement QA team. Oh, this is a requirement, not a requirement item. This is probably why we're doing this a bit differently. Because yeah, the URL will have the requirement in here, but because this is a child item, we're stacking it in the URL. Okay. But we have stated up here. That's why. All right, I've done something stupid. And Julian K120. I'm going good. Just a bit tired, but we're getting stuff done. Yeah. All right, I am going to hit play again. That's going to break. That's perfectly fine. We're all happy with it breaking. I'm going to hit send again. We're definitely hitting this. So with the instance, we should step forward. And we do have a requirement item now. There we go. I've just done a simple typo before. Oh, all right. What is under the quargs? All right. So this is one of those sort of cases where types are hurting us, and we create no. So we've just got to, just in case those two. We're just gonna hit send. We've got this again. Wait, we've got to wait for the server to boot up. We've got this. We're going to step forward. We've got the requirement item ID is a 2. The quags with the requirement item should also be a 2. So we step over and we're fine with that. All right, sweet. So yeah, I think this is going to work. And thank you very much, FleetFox. So yeah, greatly appreciated. And then we get the serializer. Ooh, why isn't it valid? Alright, so bound method, base serializer is valid, query detection. Alright, let's just hit play because that's in really tiny text. We're gonna go over here. Requirement item priority, this field is required. That's why it didn't work. Alright, so that is working. Perfect. I am going to test the post. That's working perfectly fine. So we don't need it there, we just need it over here. So I'm just gonna click on that, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do a priority of 3, and we're gonna hit send. We've got the debug in here. I'm just gonna untick that, and I'm just gonna hit play and hope for the best. Now we've got a problem. So requirement item status ID expected a number, but got that. All right, so I've done something silly in here. It expected an ID, but got... Okay, now I see what the problem is. What I'm going to do is think for a little while. So, because we've decided to distinguish between the ID field and the name of it and so forth like that, we've come across this one little problem. So one way we could potentially fix it is moving forward, all the ID fields won't have ID at the end of them, they'll just be the field, and then we'll have the prefix name for the name fields. That could potentially work, and I'll be fine with that. Yeah, or instead of name, underscore value, or something like that. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to bump the microphone, I do apologize. I'm going to just comment that out. Like so. So kind of happy with that. Now that just means that when we refresh this, once it comes back, we don't have the IDs in there because we've got them in here like this. So we'll need to do that. Easy done. And then we wait for everything to come back and we hit refresh. So we have the requirement item priority text. So it'll kind of be like that. And I'm wondering, that could be worth it, doing it like that. We've got the requirement item status, and we've got the requirement item status name, and then we've got the requirement item type, and then we've got the requirement item type name, and so forth like that. I like that. That's okay. That I can live with that. I was trying to be smart and make all have an ID and name to distinguish them both, and so forth like that. However, that being said, that looks like it's having a problem with this. Not going to be a problem if I do this, and then requirement item status, and then we just do something like this, and we do something like this, and then we go send, and that's fine. Why don't you bind, serialize, and call it? Oh, hang on. Goddamn Twitch and it's not updating the thing. Sorry. Fleet Fox, that came up with your last message and no one else's. Anyway, thank you very much, Fleet Fox. It looks like we've got a solution. I do like that moving forward. I will need to organize this so it spits out in a particular order. That's pretty easy to do. We just do the fields and we just put it in the fields of order that we want. And it most likely will be in, not alphabetical order, but we'll have the ID at the top. We'll then have the project and the field order that you see. So yes, I like that. Now we just got to edit this particular one. So if we actually hit send, it's like, hey, where's the status and where's the ID? So we do need to edit this very, very quickly. We've got the scope. We don't have any IDs in there. We're going to hit send. Now that one's going to have a problem and we're going to fix it. Easy, because if we have a look in this result, we got the item ID, status name, type name, and then priority text, item scope, item title, date created, and then item status and item type down here. And what I kind of want to do is put these two next to these two up here. So when a user gets the data and it's in that sort of order, they can be like, oh, okay, cool, that's that item status connects to the item status name. So yeah, it's just something simple. All right, let's fix this up very, very quickly. Requirement item status ID, easy done. So this will be just over here. So I'm now assuming we can get rid of a lot of this. And we just go serializer.save. But we do need to have the change user equal to the request.user. That's pretty simple. So make it easier for dev. Why not do some like status ID? I could do that. I just don't know how. Actually, no, I kind of do know how. I mean, that is possible. At least I'm pretty sure it's possible. So, in certain cases, if we actually go to, I think, the requirements API view. Actually, no, the serializer, sorry. Oh, what was we're working on change task serializer. Keep opening up the API. Change task serializer. We have... No, it wasn't in here. No, don't worry, it wasn't this one. Might have been request for change, serializer. No. Kanban card serializer. Get tags. So we could do something similar where we could potentially have get status and then do something like that, because we'll have the object and then we'll actually have the results of those objects to actually do really, really quickly. So, yeah, we can do that. Could you put that in Discord, please? So yeah, my rule of thumb for those things, if they need to be the same length or something like that, make sure one object makes them a list of, yeah. Yeah, all right, cool. I like that idea. Let's, yeah, could you just put that in Discord to remind me? And then what I can do is when we submit this, go through the code and clean all of that up. So that way it's like that everywhere else. Because we'll have statuses on projects, we'll have them on tasks, we'll have them on Kanban cards and so forth like that. And then we can extend it to other fields too. So for example, with the Kanban card, we've got the column and the levels, in which case we'll need both the ID and the name for that. So yeah, if we do that, we can be very consistent, go over everything. So yeah. All right. I'm just doing that, and then requirement item status ID. Okay, so it's wanting the requirement item status ID. Oh, we've changed that though, but it's requirement ID. All right, cool. So go back to the serializer. We're no longer doing that though. So I'm just going to hit send again. There we go. Requirement item dot requirement ID. Okay, so that's where we've got to put in to here. I'm assuming something. Now, because there's multiple choices, I'm going to assume we need to do this. Not multiple choices, but you know, there are multiple different variables. Requirement ID is going to be quags requirement ID. Now I'm just assuming this is how it's going to want this to set this up. So it's a guess. Yeah, no, it didn't work. Easy done. What if I go serializer dot change user equals request dot user and serializer dot requirement ID equals quags requirement ID? I don't know. We'll have a look. And apparently pressing D really fast makes it think you're hitting escape. Not null constraint, change user ID. Okay. A lot of streamers seem to use dedicated microphones. Headset microphones so bad. Yeah. I do have a clip from me 4 years ago, or nearly 5 years ago now, when I was first starting out and stuff like that, and yeah, you can hear the difference. So yeah, I got this as a Christmas present and I've had it ever since. So yeah. I did have a problem. The reason why it's on a stand is I had a problem with socks and she kept rubbing up against it when it used to have the base. So this came with a base and I used to screw it on. It was a heavy base and it sat on the desk and I got to talk. Socks would jump up onto the desk, rub up against it. And then I would get so many complaints in chat being like, we hear popping noises. It's socks rubbing up against it. Share the clip. Alright, this is an old clip. Wait, sorry, I gotta do the secret screen. Sorry. Videos. Oh, clips. All. Oh, God, I'm looping back. There we go. This would be like from a long time ago. So, I had it then. There we go. This is 5 years ago. Holy hell. Actually, I don't need to do the secret screen. There we go. So yeah, this is a younger me, a little bit more hair. And we got socks there. Aww. So this is before the microphone. So I was using the headset, and I think was I using the same headset I had now? Don't know. I don't know. All right, so going on here, we've got this not working now because we break things, and that's perfectly fine. Not null constant. All right, change user ID. All right, I'm going to go back into here. I'm just going to comment this out. That's perfectly fine. We're just going to go change user equals request.user. We're just going to go requirement ID equals the quags and then requirement ID. I don't know if it's going to like that. We're just going to hit send. No, I didn't like it. Submit requirement item not defined. Oh. Cool. All right, sweet. So it looks like we've got a better way of doing things. And what's going to happen is I'm going to go through most of the code, especially on this weekend, and clean it up. Yeah, barely hearable and there's so many problems. So yeah, which is why I like this thing too. Yeah, and because now I've got it on the stand, it doesn't keep the static as much. So when Socks rubs up against it, it just dissipates that static. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say I'm happy with this. We've done a post, we've done the put. The delete should, famously, last words, should work. We're going to delete number 3 from number 2. That should just work. We should go invalid token. All right. Grab that token. There you go. I will have to update all of these when doing a test. And then requirement item deleted. So another thing is, because now we're just going to do the string and stuff like that, I'll go through and make sure we're just doing the string. So, yeah. Like that. Easy done. But I was wondering if this is a headset issue or something. I mean, I do video conferencing with headset and it sounds alright. If you've got a really good headset, it should be fine. But yeah, the little tiny microphone I had, yeah, it just wasn't working. And I forgot how much this costed. It is a Razer Siren X. I think it was this one. However, they've got a different one now. So, yeah. Remember, this one's old. Alright. Oh. Fair enough. Yep. Good reasons. And if you got a good headset, yeah, should work. What you could do in OBS, and I've done this a couple of times, is you can set up a quick test. You can actually record yourself. And so instead of the start streaming, you can do start recording and actually just record, and then you talk, and then you listen to the playback. So yeah, and that should tell you whether or not there are any issues with the headset and so forth with that. And also, I do it mainly because of setting up all the audio down here and getting these levels correct, so the music doesn't come through too heavy, and yeah. All right, so what do we want to do? We want to sort of deploy this now. So git status, git add, git commit. What do we want to do? This is going to be called implementation of requirement item API. False. Yeah. All right. So that's done. We'll just push that. We're going to go and do a release now. So this would be for NearBeach. So develop had something. We've also got a feature branch that I want to finish off too. So before I do that, I'm going to git branch. I'm going to git checkout feature, not OAuth, GDPR. We're going to pull in GDPR because I kind of want to also test it properly and start doing stuff soon. Hopefully there's no bugs in it. Fingers crossed. So yeah, we'll get some feedback on it. That's why I want to release it. Once again, these particular features are hidden, then actually you have to know about them to actually sort of access them. We want to go git flow feature finish. And then we want to do git push. And that gets pushed up to the main thing. And then npm audit. And this is where I'm just going to close Postman. I'm going to close that. I'm going to open up our NearBeach.readDocs. We have processes written down. So I'll double check everything. So audit. New minor version of that. That's just sudo npm install global npm at 11.4.1. Just doing another audit. Npm run prod. Actually, before I do, git status. Npm run prod, because we just did the audit. Now, I don't think I've made any... Actually, I might have made a couple of changes. Let's actually find out. Git status. Yep, there's been a couple of changes. That's perfectly fine. What we do, git add, git commit. And then we're doing release 0. Oh, this is where I don't know the numbers anymore. Where's this? So we're up to 79. So 0.31.79. We're nearly to 100. So I reckon we'll just get into 100. Because between now and next month we'll be working on the story points, which won't take us long, but we'll also be working on clarifying the API and making it all good, and you know, the special things. So from there we'll be doing quite a number of releases to fix that quickly. All right, cool. And wow, Ivanhoe, you've landed twice this evening. 10.65. Congrats. So we're going to do that. We're going to do git push. All right, in here, we're just going to refresh. Okay, developed 9 seconds ago. We're going to do a compare and pull request. We're going to do all of this. We're going to go new features. We're going to have a look down here. Got to scroll up first. Initial commit for GDPR. So initial setup for GDPR wizard. All right, so that's going to be a hidden feature. Do you still not have static in your git ignore the generated stuff? The NearBeach static, we don't want that in the git ignore because I do want to push the static stuff. Obtaining data from the backend. We also want to do Kanban card API. We want to do change task API. We want to do requirement item API. I don't think we fixed any bugs. Broken. Why? That's a silly, silly one. All right, we're going to snooze the ad break. Applied updates to do... Oh. I've just realized Circle CI won't run. Circle CI will break. So before I do this pull request, I'm going to cancel it. All right. We're going to fix that problem first. So we're just going to log in with GitHub. Yeah, but you don't want it most of the time, right? So you can do a git add force when you want to stop pushing it by mistake. Perhaps put a makefile or something. Potentially, yeah, we could look at it when we push everything, adding that npm collect static and all that kind of stuff in place. But otherwise, I've got a workaround at the moment. I remove static a command in here that will remove everything and then git checkout. So yeah, it's a pretty, so remove everything under NearBeach static and then git checkout that one folder, and that just works for me. So yeah. All right, so yeah, the feature GDPR broke stuff. So the test backend's working here. All right, let's go back to the broken stuff. Let's see if it's a back. Yeah, it was the backend. So the backend actually passes. So I'm going to say that is going to pass. I am going to do a quick npm run a. Oh, I haven't done E2E test. Yeah, it just worked. I was like, you know what, this works. I can remove static and I can type in remove S and hit tab and it'll autocomplete out. All right, so the login didn't work for everything. That's perfectly fine. We're going to go through these errors in a minute. Talk about one-handed cubing. There's one of the drops I just did. Wow. All right. Some of this I've deleted stuff and so forth like that. So I might. If we go over here, we look at the fail. It's only 20. Most are just from the mobile Chrome not logging in. And requirement information number 1. So what I'm going to do, remove database, easy done. And then we've got to go to the source, VM bin activate. We're going to go Python 3, manage, migrate. We're going to load in our fixture. So we're going to go Python 3 manage load data, and then we're going to go NearBeach fixtures, NearBeach basic setup, and done. Then we're going to go npm run e2e, and we're going to run that again. We've got to run, yeah, we've got to run the e2e. All right, we've got a minor bug here where we've haven't logged in again. Okay. Sometimes this happens. There are a lot of tests. And we should double check all the pictures first too. All right, cool. So if we go over into the failed report, we got failed 11. They're all the mobile Chromes. And that just seems like it just hasn't logged in. Because if we go all, and we've got normal Chrome, we've got normal Firefox, oh, but then again, yeah, there we go, receive string. Yeah, alright, cool. So, sometimes we just rerun it and it just works. Now, the other thing I've got to do is sites NearBeach. We're going to go to our test results. We've got the shakeout, we've got the admin. We're just going to quickly go through here. Now, this is looking all good. I don't see anything bad happening on the pages. All right, sweet. We're going to go dark admin. Everything looks like it's rendering perfectly fine. So if there was a mistake or anything like that, it would show up in these screenshots, as in blank screen and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm not expecting any sort of mistakes. All right, cool. And as you see, this ran perfectly fine this time. So yeah, it just means that happens sometimes with the end-to-end tests. It just doesn't log in correctly. So what I'm going to do, I am going to say that's perfectly fine. We're happy with the end-to-end tests. The unit tests aren't finished, so npm run unit test. It's a lot faster on my computer. Another thing we're going to be doing once we get to 0.32 is we're going to write a lot of unit tests. We want, and end-to-end tests and all that kind of stuff. We want to get to the point where we are confident in NearBeach. That, and one way to get those confidence is to sort of get the tests all working. Ooh. That passed. All right, cool. I'm happy with that. I don't know why this is all in red. That scared me for a second. You can probably clip that and be like, oh, he got scared. He just went, oh. All right, and there we go. It's right there. So now that we're happy, I'm just going to go back into our notes. So we've done that. We've done the prod. We've run to end to end. We're all happy with that. Check all the screenshots. Make sure the development branch, yep, has been pushed. Yep, all of that is done. We're doing the release. We're doing the finish now. So we jump into here, we do compare and pull request. We're all happy with that. So those are all the new features. We're going to create a pull request. I'm going to cheat. I am going to be like, yes, and bypass, merge and rule, confirm, yep. Because I know most of those tests will run perfectly fine. And then we're going to go into NearBeach. Actually, I just got to confirm that that got pulled in. Yep. We're going to go into NearBeach. We're going to go down and we're going to create a new release. I'm going to paste that in. We're going to go 0.31.79. All right. 0.31.79. Set as pre-release. Do that. Generate the notes. And yes. So publish release. Okay, cool. Ah, I should have edited that, been like, currently the API for the child objects requires further testing. All right, sorry, I was meant to put that in. And make me do some curls. All right, give me a second. So yeah, we've just released 31.79. This will take half an hour to actually appear everywhere. So yeah, we're gonna find a fast way, but at the moment this is perfectly fine. Anyway, doing curls. Okay, we're almost at the end of the stream. Oh, you can see how messy my hair is. I need a haircut. Okay, that's gotta be tightened. Okay, cool. Actually. Yep. All right. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 40. Okay. Alright. I'm probably going to end with the desk risen. We'll be finishing up in a few minutes, but yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna snooze the ads once more, just mainly because we are finishing up now. So yeah, we've got 2 minutes for pre-rolls and stuff like that. Awesome. So good news is we've done another release. It's been about 2 weeks. From here, we've met the goals for May. Next month goal is, and I'll have these written out pretty soon, is going to be, oh my god, I can't remember, story points. So we're going to implement story points. They're going to be a minimal viable sort of product as an ad. And we're going to focus on fixing up the API. So, please join the Discord if you got some pointers for the API, where I'm going to listen to all of the pointers and stuff like that. As for everything else, yeah, that's what we're focusing on next month, which we're actually starting on Friday, which is still this month. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Let's find someone to raid, just because it is 9 o'clock. I'm actually a little bit tired. I'm going to go to bed early. So, yeah. Let's find someone very, very quickly. We've got Kingbite. Alright, let's do... Yeah, he's doing Rust, I do believe. And I do believe it is English. Yeah, it's English. Alright. Oh, there's the tag, English. So, raid. Oh, alright, they don't allow us to raid them at the moment. Alright, sad. Well, I tell you what, Anna's also great. She is working on C#. Okay. I'm hoping I don't get ads when I join, when the raid actually happens. So hopefully these get finished up very, very shortly. I should have waited until I hit the create and so forth like that. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. I'm going to stop the music so we can hear Anna. And we are going to raid in. So thank you very much, everyone. And I shall see you guys Friday. So, yeah. Bye. And for those on YouTube, thank you very much for coming along. Sadly, you won't be able to join the raid, but don't forget to like and subscribe, and greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.